And it's now a pleasure to welcome to this committee a youth representative from Slovakia. Slovakia has the floor.
Not the future. We are not the future since we are not prepared for it. Dear Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, fellow youth delegates. It's really an honor for me to speak at the United Nations General Assembly today on behalf of young people from Slovakia. We, the youth. We live in a fast-paced, complex and complicated world that changes every day. We have difficulties to adapt to this modernity pace. We don't resist intolerance and populism. We are not flexible. We are unemployed. This is not our fault. The responsibility lies on the government's shoulders. Governments do not pay enough attention and provide enough resources to the engine of all human progress, education. Students are taught to accept, not to question, information and interpretation of facts. The system places teachers in a position of unquestionable authorities and students to the generation of habitual receivers of information and moving memory drives. Time donation and curriculums are rigid. According to the United Nations report, there will be 73 million young people out of work this year, and this number is set to continue growing over the next 5 years. Policymakers have to challenge and rethink the methods and scale of education in our new circumstances, develop our skills of communication and of social interaction, encourage cultural tolerance, social responsibility, participation, and increase their employability. We, the youth, we are intolerant. We have grown accustomed to listening and following ideologies created and reproduced inside our social groups. Our ideological and social bubble closes, and with it, our opportunity to understand different cultures and mindset of the world beyond the wall. We are afraid of difference and the unknown. But education can teach us to understand and respect different cultural values and traditions. It can help us challenge social and personal circumstances we may face in the world. It's not enough to hear it. We must feel it and live it. Give us the chance to understand. We, the youth, we are not open-minded. Technology changes the way we look at values and traditions. Schools often avoid discussing topics considered too controversial. For example, no discuss topics such as LGBT rights, genetics, abortions, or ongoing wars. Why not? Teach us how to look at the world in a different ways and play with different possibilities and alternative solutions. Consider the words of Sir Ken Robinson. He states that only through critical thinking, through the ability to hypothesize, we can question the way things have always been done. This encourages us to question current perceptions, knowledge, and practices, and to believe in the virtues of openness in public and political life, rather than closure and censure. How can we build an active civil society without people who are keen to oppose? How can we change something when we aren't led to think critically? Instead, we are forced to memorize facts. Who needs to know the exact number of our population, every resolution and war in the history of humanity, or the genetic code of fly? We can Google it. Give us the chance to speak, and more importantly, think. We, the youth, we are exciting, original, and creative. But the contemporary education system does not reflect this. As Howard Gardner said, each of us has a different mosaic of intelligence. Uniform schooling ignores these differences. An education system focused on only one mode of intelligence or on limited cultural experience underestimates larger and more important part of our national capacities. The system kills, blocks our potential by constantly dictating what we should be good at, rather than allowing us to determine that ourselves. Give us the chance to do what we love and what we are good at. We, the youth, we are unemployed. All features of education that I mentioned before are necessary requirements for contemporary job market. New ideas and innovation are increasingly important to the economic competitiveness of companies and of countries. The market doesn't demand academic standards only, but also adaptive, innovative, and flexible workers. Traditional forms of work are disappearing, and to fight diploma inflation, we have to be special, exceptional individuals. Give us the chance to get a job. Secretary General in his global initiative on education urges, education is the single best investment countries can make towards building prosperous, healthy, and equitable societies. Therefore, I beg all stakeholders sitting here, listening, or watching, to actively and effectively follow this statement. I also beg all young people to stand and make active steps to force governments to do so. We, the youth, we have potential and capacity to be tolerant, open-minded, and employed. Give us the chance to learn it. Thank you for your attention.
I thank the delegation of Slovakia and the youth delegate for this statement.